Hello, hello. Hi, good day. Hope you're doing well. I hope everything is going fine. I hope today is going smoothly. Well, today we have our speaker talking about smart buildings. So, yes, we're going to let him in and then we can discuss further in the smart buildings. Okay. Here's my son. He's saying hello. Hello. Okay, bye bye. Okay.
Oh,
Is it better now? Can you hear me?
Okay, select the microphone.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Samuel. How are you
Hello,
today?
I am fine. How are you
Good.
too?
Not bad, thank you. Not bad. Yeah.
Good,
So
good to see
could
you.
could you tell us about could you tell us your name in full? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
Yes, yes. My name is Samuel Olusegun Oghenovo Ohwesi. So
It's a long
I was born
name.
in Nigeria. Yes, I was born in Nigeria in Ibadan. Some many years ago, and I study in Lagos. So from Ibadan, I moved to Lagos, and then I studied in Lagos. My mom is from Ibadan. My dad is from Delta State, so that is why I was living in Ibadan for a while. So and then I schooled in Lagos all the way. So I finished my university in Lagos, and after that, I after a few years I came to England to come and do my MBA. So while I was doing my MBA was when I had the affinity for IT, and that was some 20 years ago. So I got into IT 20 years ago, and since then I never looked back. So and then I worked in the UK for a very long time until come 2016 as a software developer. I decided to look inward and see what I can do in Nigeria especially, and that was when I came up with this my idea of real-time data acquisition and using data, to do impossible. So that is where we created UServe wireless solution. So and which I am right now the CEO of the company. And yes, we've been around for the last 4 years. We've been providing services for different companies like some oil and gas and some banks, and also some other small companies, medium companies in Nigeria. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing for the last few years.
Lovely. That's a good one. So what exactly does the company do? You know, you're talking about software, or what exactly is it that you provide?
Yeah, what we do, and the reason why I actually went into this area is that a lot of time you notice that a lot of stakeholders, they spend so much money to actually acquire an asset, and most of the time the asset is somewhere remotely. They don't have access to the asset, and now they don't know what is going on with the asset. So what we try to do is to bring the information of that asset to the stakeholders or to the owners in real time, so that they can make informed decision. For example, I have a house somewhere, and I don't know whether there is light in there or there is no light in there, or I don't know whether there is water or there is no water, or I don't know when the light is going to finish. So it, even though you don't, because you don't stay there all the time, or even though some people are staying there, but these are information that is critical for people to make decisions. So our focus at the moment is within the oil and gas and the utility companies. So with the oil and gas, a lot of their assets are in remote area, and also we have gas and oil flowing constantly. What we notice is that a lot of times they don't know what is happening. Sometimes they have to deploy, the fact that they don't know, there is that delay that does not enable them to make decision in real time. So what we do is that we put things in place that will allow them to get those information in real time. And that is what we do. And before we got even into that, one of the research we did was that how can you collect information remotely when our infrastructure, especially the communication infrastructure, is still growing. So thank God for the mobile environment, and that is why we said we make sure our company is actually defined as wireless. So we focus more on using the mobile technology to actually transfer those data. And another thing about what we now went to do again is that we know that we cannot even rely on one telco. So what we now did is that we now create a system, a software that is layered on all the 5 telcos in Nigeria, whereby if one is off, it doesn't matter to us. Our system will use the next one. If the other one is off, it doesn't matter to us. Our system will use the other one. And then it can go back again to. So since the last 3 years, 3.5 years, 4 years, we've never had a downtime with our clients. They always have access to their information in real time. And that is what, so for example, you look at the utility companies, which we are working with right now. They have transformers all over Nigeria. They have substations, they have all these things. They don't know how many assets they have. They don't know. So what you're trying to, and that is why you don't have light, because they don't know that you don't have light. A lot of times we blame them that, oh, NEPA, oh, this one. They don't know until you call them and tell them that, or somebody call and say, oh, this street does not have light. And that's why, oh, let's go on. But if they can get the information that transformer is overloading, and then they will budget, or they will even tell you, people in this is letter for you, or communicate to everyone that you're not going to have light for the next 2 weeks. At least if you know, you prepare for it. You see, and that is the information that we are collecting to be able to give the stakeholders real-time information to make a decision that will benefit the customer or the consumers.
It sounds very good. This is a good initiative.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're a Nigerian.
Thank you.
So Mr. Sam, how do you see your product it being integrated in, maybe should I say residential or buildings in general? Where do you think it's coming, or what do you think your solution will be? A positive addition within the system of design.
Whichever way we look at it, one of the biggest assets and the most common asset in the world is housing. And that is, if you look at the majority of the land on earth, is filled with housing, basically, because people have to stay in one place. And that is why it is so important. And even if you look at in Nigeria right now, one of the things that most people crave for is housing. They want to stay somewhere. And then some people just want to live somewhere. Some people now say, I want to live in my dream home. Some people now say that I want to do something, special, and that is why it is so important. And that is why your initiative is I would say is very cool. In terms of technology go across different barriers. You cannot do without it. And you cannot do without it. And that is why, and because now the power of mobility with your phone in your hand, you can do the impossible. So what we try to do, especially with the building industry, is to make sure that the building we are building now actually can go beyond how it was before. We can think beyond the normal. So for example, by the time we do the bricks, we do all those, what they need to put in there, we start looking at it that, how do we measure this building? How do we know how long this building will be here? What do we need to know in the building? For example, the amount of water a particular house uses is different from the amount of water the other house uses. If we can have this information for all these buildings in a particular place, that means we can better, provide the best utilities for those environments. So for example, you look at electricity, all those buildings needs to have a smart meter for us to be able to get information from them in real time. And also, if you look at the way the buildings are actually constructed today. Um, it's all about what is the ambience in the building, what in the actual room. And all we are trying to do is to understand this particular building. If we can, and that's why I said that this particular asset is one of the most critical, because this is where, after you've gone out and you come back, this is where you're coming into. And even if you go to the office, that is where, at that point in time, that's your home. So you want it to be as comfortable as possible. And what we are trying to focus on is to actually monitor this particular asset, making sure that it's fit for purpose and it continues to fit for purpose. And that is why with our solution, we can collect this information that the stakeholders or the owners can have, and that can determine basically how their building is doing, and with that information, they can be self-assured that the building that they've invested on, or the building that they're going to be staying for the next few years, is worth the while. And the solution is already here. What we just need to do is just apply it. And measurement is unlimited. We can measure as far as we want to measure. We can measure the soil and know that at this point in time, this soil we need to be ready for it, or will last this time, which normally before you start constructing, they do that. But that continuous measurement can be done. You don't have to do it once and stop it. Yes, you can do it once and say that, yes, it should last for the next 20 years. But environment changes. Environment changes. Things can change from there and there. What we're trying to say is that we can continuously measure that in real time and give you that information, basically generally, and that goes on and on.
Okay, so what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that basically you can monitor and know how much resources you are using over time, and plan yourself towards maybe how much you normally use. Like if we stop using what do you call it, estimated billing, and then you're to use a prepaid meter, the way it gives you your data and how much you have spent, that is the way your system works, right? So
yes, correct, yeah.
And so if like someone was to get like a solar panel, you'll be able to state that the battery life can take so you can plan towards using NEPA in the daytime or in the night while you use solar, something like that. Is that what we're saying?
That's exactly what we are saying. With this solution, yes, you have the possibility to do whatever you want to do. We can measure your electricity, we can measure your water, we can measure your waste, all those things are things that we are looking at, that, and also that allows us basically to plan better for the next, because why? We can now predict that as long as we have 3 houses here and 3 households each, their waste will be this particular kilogram. The electricity will be this particular voltage.
The water. What do you do? What does that do? What do you use it for when you measure the waste?
Basically, the waste, and that is one of the major things right now, especially when we start constructing. We don't consider that as a major player in terms of, So what we are trying to do, is basically understanding that what we do right now is that we collect our waste in one place. And we can't plan ahead that, okay, what is going to happen if these people decide to leave or increase in the next 5 years? What is going to happen? Are we going to be, and also, if we know that this is going to happen, what should we do? And that is exactly what we're trying to bring in.
Project ahead. So
we can project ahead. So that we don't get, as you know, what people are doing right now, that they are building estates. There's so many estates that are building right now. They are building so many estates, which is very good. But what is happening as we go along now, there'll be so many estates everywhere. The key thing for us is for us to make sure that we understand the growth and what is going to happen to this environment, so that we don't just start having, this place is going to get busted, or we start having all this waste and all this. But with this information,
Mm.
gathering, we can, and what I'm trying to say is that this information will be gathered in real time. And as the graph continues to change, you will see it. And then you can project that if you are getting this result in a matter of 2 weeks, if you extrapolate it, that means in next 1 year, this is what it's going to be. So let us prepare for it. And that is what data will do for you. And we can manage those data, we can pinpoint those data for different area, basically. And then we can be able to provide the necessary solution for that particular area.
That's a good one. That sounds really. It's like saying you plan for a 50 bed, uh, a
Yes.
50 bed space. Then over time, that 50 bed now turns to 100 people using it instead of 50, and then the capacity, everything is stretched out. Okay.
Everything will be stretched.
Yeah.
Everything will be
So
stretched. Even the building will be stretched. Even the painting will be stretched.
yeah.
Everything will be stretched. And that is why we find houses or buildings that over the time we just can't manage them anymore. We can't control them, and they now become, something that you don't want. And that is the reason why by the time we start doing this building, you will see that we are. I mean, here in the UK, when they build such building, they tell them that you are only allowed, unless you're having parties, is only one child and two parents. That's what they want to be there constantly. So, and the reason why is that they balance it, that all of you will only have, there will only be 3 people in that building. So, and then they build like 10 or 20, 200 or 50 flats. So, and because all the structures supposed to, so as people start increasing, they measure it. So if 3 by 50 is now 150, it will tell them that it's now 150. But at the same time, they put in a gap there. They put a gap in there. That, okay, maybe when it gets to about 200 or whatever. But when it starts exceeding that, they know that instead of this building to be around for the next 200 years as they planned, because it was only meant for 200, but now is now 250. That building is not possible. It cannot stay for 200 years anymore. So automatically, they are projecting that. And then that's what, so in the next 100 years, they need to come in and do something, or try to go back to the building and tell them that this is what we think we are seeing. Can we please manage this and that? So, but the information for them to make real-time decision is what we will provide.
Okay, so this to some people where I'm also helping you, because some people, I'm sure this is like abstract, maybe this is like Greek what they are hearing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
How do you think you can sell it to the Nigerian market? We know right now we are terrible with our planning, because this is good for our maintenance culture, which is what I'm also very passionate and I advocate for our maintenance culture. Because if people have this data, and you're meant to, they're like a generator, you're meant to use it for a certain number of hours and then change the oil, change this. But people don't do that. They just, your boss doesn't understand it, and you're like, oh sir, this is due for maintenance, and they're like, what are you talking about? It's working fine. So how do you think you can sell your idea that it will reach the consciousness of man, and they can take it up, because in the long run it's for our benefits?
It is. Sorry, and just to mention generators, that's another asset that you need information from, and you don't want your generator to just they call it just bafuka or just break all of a sudden. Yes. So which is what happens mostly in Nigeria. And yes, this is all about our maintenance culture. We need to improve it. So yes, this is what I would tell, and this is what I tell the stakeholders, the owners of the asset. I tell them, what is your asset worth? First of all, what is it worth, and what do you think you need from that asset? For example, if you are renting a house, you are renting just a house that you are paying whatever. You look at it, my tenant is there. What do I need from that tenant? What do I need to know? There's something, and that is the question. There's something each time that you want to know as the owner of the place. There's something. That something is what I try to listen to. And that's something, the question now is that, do you want to go there and ask them, or you just want to get that information? So it's not a question that they have to ask themselves, but it's all within the stakeholder. What is it that does not make you to go to bed early because of your assets? That's what I ask them. So once you can tell me that, I'm always thinking about this person, or is this person that you're thinking about? Okay, let us work out something for him that will show that it comes in and when it goes out. And that's all. And that is something that we will now put in place. What again, is anything else? Yeah, I want to know when it takes this gas cylinder out and take it in. I mean, right now, as I'm telling you, we are doing a solution that we're tracking gas cylinders, which is something that is very common, whereby there's a lot of companies say that they're losing their gas cylinders. That's what makes them not to sleep. And that is what is our own solution. So the way I sell it is, I just sit down with you and I say, Architect Aisha, what is it that you are thinking of? What is it that worries you about your asset? And that's all. And then you say, nothing, I'm fine. Okay, you are fine then. That's it. You can't do anything about that. But you said, there's this particular one that I just don't know what is going on there. When you say that you don't know what is going on somewhere, that is it. That's where we start from. But impossibility is nothing. Impossible is nothing. Or how did they say it? It's nothing anymore. Everything is. That's it. So, but the stakeholders are the one that will decide what exactly is keeping them awake regarding their asset, and that is when we can. That is when we can move in.
Well, it's a good one. Well, your ideas and your solutions is really for a new Nigeria, a new mindset, a new thinking.
Yes.
And that is why we all have to try and help us improve our poverty line. Take it. Reduce our poverty line, because these are good points that we're making here. But when people are hungry and I don't know where the next meal is, would they be thinking, I want to monitor something? You're like, I need the money.
True.
That's why we all have to work together to see how we can uplift the standard of living generally in our community.
I agree.
On a lighter note, what will you say is your biggest strength?
My biggest strength is actually to first of all is motivating people and let them believe that these things are possible. Everything is possible. That's the first thing. So make them feel that everything is possible. One of the things that we have done over the years is that we feel that, if you remember, look at the way we use the mobile phone today. Look at the way we use if somebody have told me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that it's going to be like this, it's just impossible.
Yeah.
And that is what gives me the hope that the new Nigerians, no matter where they are, I was in a webinar today, and I'm not sure whether you heard about this company called Farm Connect.
No.
And I was in their webinar today. This man is in a rural area in Ibadan, and the way he was talking about technology, Architect, I was like this. I even you thought I'm maybe I was like this in Ibadan, and that is when I knew that all we just need, like you said, is just to lift each other a little bit, a little bit, and we can get it. So my strongest, and I think I've done it even with my staff, is motivating and encouragement and just believe that if we work hard, it is possible. Everything is possible. I listened to someone you interviewed, and I was so impressed with what he has done. I think he's doing something within waste and things like that. So impressed. Yeah, so impressed with what they've done and what they continue to do. It's just unbelievable. And that is what gives me that that everything is possible, really. So yeah, so my strongest area is just to hard working, motivating, believe, and yes, and then yeah, with prayer, everything is possible.
Wonderful. So, what would you say is your biggest weakness?
I think my weakness is what would be my weakness? I'm very trusting. I so much believe in people, and then sometimes yes, you get beaten. That's just the old that thing. But what I do is that I give you the best ever shot I can give that person. I don't even think whether he's going to fail me or he's going to do whatever. I just give it all I want to give him. And so far, right now, I think I've seen more result than failure. But when you get that failure, you feel,
Yeah.
and why didn't I think this way? Why did I do that? Why? So, and that is where but apart from that, yeah, I would say I know it's my weakness to be very trusting, but I'm not I'm not going to change anything.
Please don't. Please don't. Because you have to believe in the good of man, yeah? You can't
That's it.
just
At
be.
least, at least 1 out of 10 will be success.
Yes,
Will
yes.
be a success, and yeah. So that's it.
Okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
In 5 years, and I'm so kind of yeah, positive. In 5 years, my focus is to make sure that User Wireless Solution becomes a $1 billion company. That's my
Not a
goal.
$1 million, not millions. You're
No,
talking
no,
now
no, no.
billions.
No, we're
Eh?
not talking about $1 million.
Good.
No, no. I
Good.
mean, look at Nigeria. Safe. What is a million in Nigeria these days? And
Honestly,
look at that.
honestly.
I mean, basically, but what we're saying, and that's just by. I can tell you different stories, but what we're trying to do is just to reach out to the moon, and then maybe you get to the sky. So
Good.
so that is the whole idea, so yeah. So, and also my next focus is to make sure that I can impact the youth, employ more people, train more people, and like I said again, that is why I will tell you, architect, this is my first ever. I'm a very shy person. I don't even come out at all or talk anything at all. Honestly, I like to be just hidden under the table and nobody sees me. I just do my work.
We're all
But
the same. The same like mine.
you know, you know,
I was sweating bullets, but well, I'm here.
but like I said, when I read everything, I said this is good, and that is why, like I said, my vision is that we must bring people from that poverty line, train them, give them equipment, and tell them and teach them to follow ethics and to be durable, to be diligent, to just go there. When they give you money, you do the work and you come back again and tell them, how was the work I did yesterday? Was it good?
Hmm.
And they say we need to get to that point, and that is what
Customer
that is why
satisfaction. Yeah.
customer satisfaction. That will be an amazing, and that is why I said motivating them, empowering them, and yes, and also yes, training them. It will be a kind of a legacy I'll be looking for, in the next 5 years.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, do you read books?
I read books. I read books.
Which which would you say made the biggest impact on you?
This guy, I'm not sure whether you know this guy. I can tell you the story of this guy.
There you go.
This guy, 2008, when he became the president. There's another guy again called Lewis Hamilton. He's a race driver. I'm not sure whether you know him.
Yes, you know him.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy was he actually, I think 2008 he actually changed my thinking entirely. When I started following, it changed my thinking. And yeah, I always follow his book. He always tells you give you some secrets. So I'm reading this book now called A Promised Land. It's quite interesting. So he talk about his life story when he became the president, which was a very, very difficult time for him. And then the next thing that I do is that I try to pick books on leadership. And this is another one that I'm reading called Leadership, Not House Leadership. And because I feel that for me to be able to do anything, I need to really have the mentality of leadership. And that is very key. For you to motivate anyone, you must have that bit of tenant in actually how you lead them. How can they believe in you? How can they trust you? How can you motivate them? How can you get them to actually deliver what you want them to deliver? And that is why so far I've been so lucky. Even though I'm here, most of my staff, they've been working with me for the last 4 years, and they are still there, and they never had any problem, you know. And I work on my leadership skills every day by picking one book, reading about leaders. No matter who the leaders are, everybody have their own style, you know. So I can't just say, okay, this one. Any leader, as far as I'm concerned, is appointed by God, and there's something about them. Until you know that thing, you're still joking. You're still joking. So if you want to get to that level, yeah, pick a leader and study them, and then it does help you.
Yeah. That's a good one. So on a final note, what would be your passing remark? What would be your advice to the youth, to the upcoming youth, to the troubled youth, to the they have no direction or no hope?
Yes. Yes.
What would be your advice to them?
I just tell them there is hope. There is hope. There is hope. Don't give up. Don't fall into the wrong place. Don't join the wrong people. There is hope. Don't kill yourself. There is hope. There is hope. What I tell them to do is always find someone you can align with. I know with prayer and with God on your side, the time will come for you. Just hang in there. Continue to do what you're doing. Today might not be good, but tomorrow, oh my God, who knows? Just hang in there and continue to move. Don't be still. Continue to move. Continue to scratch. Continue to change. Continue. Is going to open. And that's it. That's my whatever you want to do, whatever you are doing, find someone that can help you and continue to move.
Mentor. Basically a mentor.
Find someone that can mentor you. No matter who they are. Find them, knock their door, persist, find them, call them. They will help you. And that is it. Don't give up. Hope is there.
Thank you so much for that. That was I felt it. Yeah, because
pleasure.
I'm sure some people that don't know where they stand. They don't know, you know. So I really hope we all can help each other, basically.
Yes.
So yes. Thank you so much for this.
Pleasure.
I hope you'll be there when we call you again.
I'm I said you still have to give me one toilet to fix it.
Yeah, finished.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you anyways.
All right, cheers.
See you.
All right, yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.